Welcome back, friends and family. I'm Codiferrous, and today I'm bringing you a guide to obtaining all golden scarabs and crystal skulls in Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. Putting the collectibles of its predecessors together, Ninja Gaiden 3 has 50 scarabs and 10 crystal skulls, and they function much differently here than they do in the previous titles. First of all, these collectibles span across the entirety of the game, so please understand that there are spoilers ahead. Now to switch the scope to the relevancy of why you want these collectibles in the first place, Karma has been converted into a currency in this game that is used to upgrade your health and gear. And with that said, each scarab you find will grant you an additional 5,000 karma. Not only that, but for every 5 scarabs you collect, you will unlock a new weapon, ninpo, or obtain an overall health upgrade, making collecting these treasure bugs nigh essential to your gameplay. The skulls are a bit more interesting, in that they unlock an endurance challenge for you to complete. These challenges comprise of 3 waves of increasingly difficult enemies before culminating in a face-off against a boss from Ryu's past. Completing these challenges grants you a trophy and an additional 5,000 karma. Collecting all 10 skulls will give you an additional costume. So now that we know the purpose of these collectibles, I gotta do what's right for the people and require that you leave a thumbs up on this video as tribute if you find it helpful. I'm just a little boy trying to grow, and it truly does mean a lot to me. Now enough of that, let's get to it. Near the start of the game, there will be a sequence that requires you to run from the spider tank boss. Complete the sequence and you will end up in an alleyway. You should spot the scarab just in between the stairs. Go up the staircase and fall in the hole to retrieve the first scarab. To be even more specific, this is the area just before your first wall climb. After the first stealth kill that you perform on a rooftop, you will subsequently falcon dive into a slew of enemies in the street. After clearing them out, you will have the chance to save. Instead, turn around and run back to the opposite side of the area and you will find the scarab right next to the barricade. In the very next area, you'll be assailed by enemies with missile pods. A friendly helicopter will run through and take them out. Behind the last parked car on the right will be scarab number 3. The next scarab is found shortly after you defeat the spider tank boss. Proceed ahead down the street and past the broken gate. It will be right around the corner from where you find the save point. After you get to the top of the second wall that you need to kunai climb, you will end up on a rooftop. Look left and you can peep the skull on the other side of the fence. Slide underneath the sheet of metal in front of you and you can circle around to pick it up. Immediately after grabbing the crystal skull, you will kick down the door to enter the building. Proceed until the floor turns to carpet and Ryu starts talking to Mizuki about the hostages. The scarab will be directly around the corner and to the left before descending down the staircase. The final scarab of the level is found as you go to exit the house out of the bottom floor. You will clear a room full of enemies. When you open the door, a quick time event will trigger where you need to dodge an enemy. The scarab will be right next to you on the left just before the last save point. At the start of day 2, walk to the right end of the area. It will be next to a pillar tucked in the shadows. After you defeat some enemies, you will perform the first wall jump of the level and find a save point. The scarab is just to the left of it. Shortly after getting Scarab 8, you'll need to defeat even more enemies before doing the first kunai wall climb of the level. Very easy to spot, it will be on the right. After grabbing Scarab 9, you need to jump down and get through a lengthy encounter. After completing the fight, you will need to wall jump to progress. After completing the first wall jump, look back at the wall and do it a second time to reach an even higher platform to find Scarab 10. This scarab is found after your fight with the alchemists. Complete the wall climb and you will discover a save point. Look to the right and the scarab will be stashed in the wood pile. When you break into an open room, there will be a bar with a jukebox. Sitting in plain sight, it's pretty hard to miss.
Be careful.
After leaving the bar where you found Scarab 12, you will have to wall run across a gap. After doing so, the scarab will be on your left. After your first encounter against a helicopter, turn around and you will see the scarab just behind a gold statue in the middle of the stairs. Upon completing your second fight with the helicopter, you will face a few soldiers. Clear them out and slide under the gate. You will notice a scarab behind a pillar opposite of where you stand. After passing the downed helicopter, where a man jumps out who's on fire, look to the right for some ledges you can climb up. Swing on the pole and wall run to get on top of the train to find it. After the grip of murder sequence, you will stumble into an elevator to take you to the top. After getting out, you will see a save point before you. Check right near it to get the last scarab of the chapter. Unlike in Sigma 2, the chapters you play as Ayane actually do have collectibles for you to find. And number 17 is going to be found at the start of the level. Complete the encounter and then search for it in a tucked away corner. This skull is a bit difficult to find. It is located behind a gate after you are first ambushed. After clearing the ambush, you will proceed to face some resistance down the alleyway. Slide under the wooden barricade to get down another alleyway. You will then need to wall jump up. After the first wall run across the gap, turn around to see a pole you can wall run to and swing on. Wall run again to reach a platform. Then wall run again to reach the next platform. Use the kunai climb up the wall, and finally you can drop down the hole to find it. After the same area where you found skull number 3, you will need to wall run across the gap once more. Head down the path, and when you find yourself outside again, look to the left to find a wall you can run on to get to the opposite balcony. The scarab is at the end of this path. Very shortly after Scarab 18, you will need to jump down to fight some enemies just outside of a gate. After defeating them, do not proceed towards the save point. Instead, walk to the kunai climb wall and ascend to the top to retrieve the scarab. After killing some bugs, you will reach the first kunai climb wall. Scale up it and look to your left to find Scarab 20.
You gotta be careful. Who knows what kind of stuff is waiting for you out here.
After working your way over the concrete bunker, you will come to a ledge that will have you jumping towards a truck. Right next to you will be a radio, and the scarab will be resting just next to it.
A radio? But where is it?
After the cave section, you will find yourself in a missile silo. Fight your way up it, but instead of wall jumping through the shaft you find, look to the left for a spot you can wall run on. After the grip of murder sequence just outside the facility, you will approach some double doors. Before entering, look to the right side in the corner to find the scarab. Proceeding just after Scarab 22, you will enter a large area that is definitely not a boss arena. Making your way up the stairs on the right side, you will be ambushed by cloaked enemies. Disposing of them, you will discover the golden scarab at the top of the stairs right where you were ambushed at, hidden in the corner next to some wreckage. Walking through the fossil chambers at the very end of all the displays, you will find the scarab tucked around the corner on the right side before entering the final hallway. At the start of day 4, you will find yourself in a simulation. After going through the various flashbacks of games past, you will find a simulation of the beginning of the game at day 1. Head up the staircase, and right next to the save point on the right will be the first scarab of the level. After breaking out of the simulation, you will reach an encounter with 2 white armored enemies. Kill them and then exit the room to reach a hallway. Look immediately to your right to spot it at the dead end. After sliding down a chute and fighting inside the acid pit, you'll need to escape through a small obstacle course. After kunai climbing and landing in a pipe, stop and then turn around. Swing across to the platform, then wall run and swing across a few more poles to reach the final platform. A chimera will ambush you out of a pipe. Check inside this pipe to find the 27th scarab. Crystal Skull number 5. It's literally right next to where you found Scarab 27. It's at the end of the platform. Following right after Scarab 27, drop down and jump across to continue onward. Clear out the chimeras in the room below. Wall jump up and get ready to be ambushed by another chimera. Killing them and wall jumping up a second time, you will clear the gap and find a save point. Proceed forward down the hall and then turn left where the scientist got abducted. In the room with the blue floor, there was a door in the corner that was previously locked. Walk in to grab the last scarab of the chapter. At the start of the level, turn around and follow the path as it curves to the right. The scarab will be at the end. As you cross a long bridge, it will collapse into a kunai wall climb. Proceed up and you'll be able to spot the skull on a small platform. Defeat the enemies and keep to the right side to spot a small gap that you can slide under. Follow the path ahead and the skull is at the end. It might be a little hard to spot, but after reaching the save point in the area with tall grass, proceed around the bend and right at the bottom of the stairs will be the scarab. Following after Scarab 30, you'll reach a point where you have to dodge a boulder and fight some enemies. Defeat them all, and then continue on and look past the boulder on the left for it. It will be right next to the save point. After the scene at Kurenai's grave, you will find yourself in a new location. Turn around and grab the scarab. After partnering up with Momoji, you will reach some webbing blocking the path. After she burns the webbing, follow the path until you reach a large battlefield. Look to the left just as the path you are on ends. At the start of the level, turn left and run to the fence. The scarab is hidden away in a corner behind a box. The low visibility makes it difficult to find outright, so here I'm trying to show you for reference where the tower is. In the cave, there will be a section where you need to escape the breaking ice by using a kunai climb wall. When you reach the top, head to the left to find Scarab 35. You'll reach a point where you have to shoot down one of those bug nests to destroy an icicle blocking your path. Defeating the enemies that spawn, wall run to the kunai climb wall. The scarab is on the right side of the wall as you climb. When inside the chapel, you'll go down a walkway and up some stairs to the second floor. When you break out to the area where you can see a stained glass window, look to your immediate left as you exit from the hallway. The scarab is resting there. When you enter the area with test tubes along the walls, you'll be able to spot Crystal Skull 7 through a wooden obstacle. Make your way through the maze, and just before you exit the area, there will be a wooden wall that you can slide under. Do so and follow the windy path to pick the skull up off the shelf. Right after picking up Skull 7, you will exit the test tube area through a cave tunnel. When it breaks out into the hallway, look immediately to your left to find the last collectible of the chapter. At the start of Day 6, as Ayane, you will land on a pier and fight some enemies. After clearing them out, proceed forward and check behind the truck on your left. When you reach the first staircase of the level, don't go up it. Instead, head just to the right of it to find the 40th Scarab in front of some boxes. Immediately after getting Scarab 40, you will falcon dive off the ledge to fight a group of enemies. After clearing them out, check in the corner behind some sandbags. A bit of a hidden collectible, you'll be navigating through the shipping containers until you eventually reach a point where one of them falls down and breaks open to release the first Chimera enemies of the level. Dispatch of them, and then kick the door open to get ambushed by a rocket pod enemy. Wall run across to proceed to the next area. Here, you can actually spot the skull sitting just above you on the container. Go a little further ahead to fight some more Chimeras. As a callback to the advice Ayane gives you in the first Ninja Gaiden game, the paths that are marked in blue guide the way. Observe the blue crates placed ever so particularly. Wall run to ascend to the top and collect the 8th skull. Upon getting the save point at the end of the container maze, you will open a gate and have to battle several rounds of enemies next to the water with a boat close by. After defeating the 3 sword-wielding alchemists in black robes, open the gate and look to the right. At the start of day 7, you need to destroy the gun turrets on the carrier. As you approach the second turret, you will see the Scarab just to the left. After you scale to the crow's nest of the first ship, you will need to falcon dive to the second ship and destroy a turret. Go a little further ahead to find Scarab 44 next to the guardrail. Immediately after grabbing Scarab 44, head over and destroy the second turret. Proceed down the stairs and then look to your left to spot a wall that you can kunai climb. Run down and slide under the gap to find the crystal skull on the catwalk. After climbing the kunai wall on the mast of the second ship, you will reach a save point and see another kunai climb wall. Instead, ignore it and circle around to the front of the platform to retrieve the Scarab. After beating Ash Tier, you will find yourself in the ship's hold in front of a save point. Look to your left to spot the Scarab right next to a little yellow car. After the part where you falcon dive down to take out the rocket pod soldier who destroyed the bridge, you will have to kill some enemies. Make your way down the street and keep your eye on the right side. The Scarab will be next to a light post. After falcon diving down to the first Chimera enemy area, look on the right side of the street for this Scarab. Right across the street from Scarab 48, you will spot some rubble that you can slide under. Afterwards, wall jump up to the top to find the 10th and final skull. After Theodore partners up with you, move ahead and fight some enemies. You will go up a ramp. Before you go up the second ramp, look to the right. Still with Theodore, when you round a corner, you'll be faced with the kunai climb wall. Before scaling it, look to your right. The final Scarab of the game is hidden behind the side of the building with the door. And just like that, we are done with this count up. I hope that I was able to provide some guidance for those looking for completionism, as well as some support in your playthroughs of Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. If you found this helpful, then you're welcome. If not, well, I don't know what to say. But with that said, take care, stay safe, stay happy, and hopefully I'll be seeing you soon. Bye-bye.